अस्त्युत्तरस्यां दिशिदेवतात्मा हिमालयो नाम नगाधिराजः पूर्वापरौ तोयनिधीव गाह्य स्थितः पृथिव्या इव मानदण्डः. So we are in the section where Parameshwara, he has come in the disguise of a brahmachari, and he is asking Parvati some questions. So the first few questions are addressed to her the first part is usually addressed in a very normal manner, and then the second part seems to reveal what is there, and he wants to attract her mind. So he is trying to get closer to Parvati right now. So api prasannam harineshu te manaha karasthadarbha pranayaparadhishu ya utpalakshepa chalairvilochanaihi tavakshi sadrishyam iva prayunjate. These deer, they come and take away the darbha grass that you have in your hand to throw into the homam fire. So it's usually an aparadha. It is considered as an aparadha. So I hope you are not angry. More than that, asking it in a positive manner is more beautiful here. So te manaha prasannam api. Is it very pleasing towards these deer which are doing such a big aparadha of snatching it from your hand? And these deer which are trying to measure your eyes and see whether they are equal to their own eyes or not. Okay, so move on to the next one. Yaduchyate parvati papa vrittaye narupamityabhyabhicharitadvachaha tatha hite sheelam udara darshane tapasvinamapi upadeshatam gatam. Hey Parvati, take it as two different sentences and have udara darshane as the second adjective in the second sentence, as an address in the second sentence. So, hey Parvati, this is trying to get closer. Parvataraja putri iti. So, it is a word that people address. Those who know her really well will address her as Parvati. Otherwise, they are going to call her as tapaswini or something like that, tapasa stri, in a way of honoring, not showing that familiarity of Parvati. When you call someone by name, it's not a stranger who calls usually by name. So, atra Parvati iti uktatvat, tatra there seems to be some familiarity in his address right now. So, yat uchyate Papa vrittaye rupam na Papa vrittaye rupam na iti yat uchyate tat vachaha avyabhichari. So usually during when Samudrika Lakshanakaras, they say that the face reveals, or the form reveals what is there in the mind. So Papa vrittaye rupam na bhavati. Rupam here he takes it as surupam. If a beautiful form is there, definitely papacharanaya na bhavati. It is not usually seen that they perform papam. Instead, you see that someone who is beautiful, naturally, they will be doing only good deeds. Otherwise, they would not have attained such a beautiful form, probably. So, iti yat uchyate, that which is being said by the Samudrika Shastrakara, tat vachaha, that words, those words are avyabhichari. Vyabhichari nama asatyam. So, avyabhichari becomes satyam. Vyabhicharate, that which does not connect at all. So, avyabhichari, that which connects well, in the sense it is the truth. So, what they say about form, someone having a good form and not performing sinful acts is probably true, because in your case, tathahi, uhe udara darshane, you who have a very udara form, one who has a darshanam. Darshanam here refers to one who has a form which is very noble, udara. Te sheelam, your character, tapasvinam api upadeshatam gatam. Your character or your nadavadikkyam varolya, your behavior seems to have become an ideal for even tapasvis in this forest. So upadeshatam, it seems to teach those people as to how one has to behave. So itham tapasvijana uchitam kushalam prishtva. Kushala Prashnam Kritva. So having asked what is appropriate to ask of a tapasvijana, Punarapi tad anupreshartham anupravesha nama getting closer to her. For that he is asking arthyani priyavachanani. He is talking about words which are more meaningful and more endearing words. So to get more closer to her, he is going to praise her tapas right now. So tatkrita tapaf prashamsa mukhena prayumte tribhi shlokaihi. So he uses endearing words by starting off with praising her tapas right now, and then it is going to go for 3 shlokas here. Tatra ado ekadesha varnanadvarena prakritam angavarnanam eva samasta angavarnanena prapanchayati. Prakritam angam is angavarnanena. So ekadesha varnanadvarena, by describing only one portion, that is just the form. He is not picking out each and every part of her body and saying. Instead, now he is angavarnanam eva samasta angavarnanena prapanchayati. By just on a macro level, he is just looking at her entire form and he is describing it. With that, he has achieved by saying each part is also beautiful here. He doesn't have to, like in the first Sarga where each part of Parvati was described. Tatha atra, it's not proper. He doesn't have to do it right now. By just saying that she has a beautiful form is enough. Parvati, Rupam papavrittaye na iti yat uchyate tat vachaha avyabhichari. So, atra Parvati iti Devi chitta avarjanartham, in order to attract Devi's mind, Devi chitta avarjanartham, abhijathya pratipadana param sambodhanam. Abhijatyam is abhijataha, one who knows them really well. So, familiarity, abhijatyam nama. So, it is a word that involves familiarity and he wants to attract her mind. So, he is trying to endear himself to her. Rupam saundaryam, atharupam napunsakam swabhava akriti saundarya vapushu shloka shabdayoho. These are the meanings in which the word rupam can be used in napunsaka lingam. In these words, when you want to say swabhava, when you want to say akriti, or just saundaryam, beauty, vapuhu, form, all of these things, body. Papa vrittaye, papacharaya na bhavati. So, rupam, saundaryam, papacharaya na bhavati. Rupam does not necessarily mean form in this case, because a form can be surupam, kurupam, whatever. If you are looking at only akriti. That is why he is translating the word rupam as saundaryam and saying it as beauty, not just form, but beauty. So, beauty, papa vrittayena bhavati, it does not for performing wicked acts, doing wicked act. Samudrika sara darshibihi iti sheshaha. Uchyate, kaihi uchyate, samudrika sara darshibihi, those who understand the lakshanam. Tadvachaha avyabhichari. Vyabhicharaha nama anyatha bhavaha. That which can be taken as otherwise. Vyabhicharitum shilam asya iti vyabhichari. Tataha anyat avyabhichari. So that which is not, that which cannot be otherwise. So rupam shilanusari iti samudrika vachanam satyameva ityartha. So rupam or saundaryam follows the character, or Shila Anusari Bhavati. Shilam Anusarate. It naturally there is a beauty in, sometimes the inner beauty is revealed outside in Garche. They may look very beautiful, but somewhere you will know if there is some, and the instinct irko. Instinctively you may look at someone and say, I don't know whether they are in the right path or not. But something is missing there. That missing part is probably something to do with the character or the feeling that is there inside. Someone who is very beautiful inside also would naturally radiate that beauty outside, no matter what. That's what he's trying to convey here as such. So, Rupam Shilanusari iti samudrika vachanam satyameva. It is the truth. Nanu Kutaha etat avagatam iti imam ashankam devi drishtantenaiva pariharati. So where can we see this? That Rupam Shilanusari iti asya vachanasya udaharanatvena whom do we have to show for an example? He is saying, you are the best example for this. Iti yad uchyate, you are the best example for this because udara darshane tathahi te sheelam tapasvinamapi upadeshatam gatam. Udaram utkrishtam darshanam yasyaha sa. So, hey Rupavati, one who has a very noble form or a beautiful form. Tatha abhavat, tatha bhavadeva hi hetoho tava sheelam sadvrittam. Ha. Tatha bhavat. Tanitaniya irukkanum. So, tatha bhavat udara darshanattvadeva. Because you have a beautiful form, that is why, because of that reason, tava sheelam sadvrittam, your character is also a good character. Sheelam swabhave sadvritte iti simhaha. This is another Amarakosha type of kosham. Tapasvinam muninam api na kevalam itarajananam iti api shabdartaha. You are not only an ideal for normal people, but even the ones who have practiced to be in this kind of a living, tapasvi jana, they also look up to you as an ideal. Upadeshatam upadeshatvam gatam praptam kim gatam tava te sheelam. Te sheelam upadeshatam gatam. So your actions have become something to take up as an example for even tapasvis. Vedo dharma moolam tadvidam cha smriti shile ityadishu smritishu sadacharasyapi vedavadeva pramanyasya pratipaditatvat iti bhavaha. Tapasvis are usually more concerned with Vedas. This is some dharma, maybe not even dharma shastra. This is in some maybe samudrika lakshana shastram, which need not be a reference book for tapasvis, right? But he says the Vedaha dharma moolam. Vedas have dharma. Vedas have dharmam as its moolam. So tadvidam cha smriti shile. You can say those who know the Vedas have smriti and sheelam character na ennantarila. Maybe they those who understand Vedas usually have that kind of a character na cholrara ennatharila. I don't know. So vedavat eva sadacharasyapi pramanyasya pratipaditatvat. Oh, tadvidam cha smriti and sheelam. So smriti also becomes an important source for dharma, for people who want to follow Vedas. You don't just hold on to Vedas, but all of the Chaturdasha Vidyas which have come also have to be considered as equal to Vedas because they are only trying to give the content of the Vedas in a different manner. Like Smriti or Puranas, Itihasas, Shastras, all of these are only a different packaging material of the Vedas. They use the same content, but they give it in a different manner. So Smriti should also be taken into consideration by those people who want to be good in their practice of penance. And they should also take the Sheelam, character of people, and follow it. Taddadeva itaro janaha. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha tattadeva itaro janaha. So whatever is a person does, a great person does, the other people also follow it. So Smriti literature and Sheelam, character of great people, also become a reference point. So that's why we say sadacharasyapi vedavat eva pramanyam. So it has so much of pramanyam just like Vedas. Rupavatyaha tava sheelam maharshinam api evam kartavyam iti upadesha rupatvam praptam iti yat. The fact that you are very beautiful and at the same time your character has been taken into consideration as something that even Maharshis want to follow. Maharshinam api kartavyam. So this becomes an upadesha for them. So upadesha rupatvam praptam iti yat. Tasmat, because of this fact, Rupam Sheelanusari iti vachanam satyameva. Uktam cha naishadha kavye rupasya Sheelanusaritvam न तुला विषये तवाकृतिर् न वचो वर्त्मनि ते सुशीलता त्वदुदाहरणाकृतौ गुणाः इति सामुद्रिक सारमुद्रणा. This is in second Sarga 51. இது வந்து the Hamsam Annapakshya பார்த்து நளன் சொல்றது. So Nala says this towards the Hamsa whom he wants to send as a messenger. So Tula Vishaye Tava Akritihi na Te Sushilata Vachovartmani na Vidyate Tvad Udaharana Akrito Gunaha iti Samudrikasara Mudrana Tvad Udaharana eva. இது வந்து we'll look at the Vyakyanam so that we Naishadamla அப்படியே ஆஃப் ஹேண்டா அப்படி பண்ண முடியாது. I will just show the Vyakyanam so that we can look at it and go over the sloka. See, the words seem very simple here, but it will be a little convoluted way of trying to give the meaning. So, hey Hamsa, tava akritihi swarupam, your akriti, your form, tula vishaye na. So, it does not have, it cannot be, அதாவது தராசுல வைக்க முடியாதுன்னு அர்த்தம். தராசு இருக்குல்ல, துலா விஷயம்னா we cannot keep it for comparison at all. That is, it cannot have an upameya bhava because it is upamanam itself. Upamanam is the standard of comparison. Words use பண்றது எனக்கு வந்து every time I read Naishadam, ஒரு ஸ்லோகம் கூட it will amaze me the way that Kavi has used words. Tava akritihi tula vishaye na. So it is not subject to comparison at all. Again, because it is the standard of comparison, it is upamanam. So I can never put it on a balance and say, okay, this is upameyam, let me try to figure out what is the upamanam here. Iti. So na tula vishaye tavakritihi. Imagine using this in a sentence, no? Na vacho vartmani te sushilata. Te sushilata, your character, susvabhavatvam, na vacho vishayam. Vacho vartmani na bhavati. Na vak gocharaha na. Varnayitum na shakyate ityarthaha. It is not possible for me to describe your character. Neither is your form to be compared, nor is your character coming within the range of speech. So, Samudraka Sara Mudrana, Samudraka Saram is Samudraka Shastram. Tasya Saraha Rahasyam. So the Tasya Mudrana is Niyamanam. So if we have to prove the Rahasyams that are there in the Samudrika Lakshana Shastram. So Samudrika Lakshanam is that which describes the best among the forms. So if this is there, then this is how the character will be. If this kind of a nose, this kind of, we read it in Gadya Sangraham actually, and the Dashakumara Charitamla, where that Shakti Kumara goes and tries to find out one bride for him. It is there in the 6th Uchvasa of Dashakumara Charitam. So he tries to find a bride for himself. He goes and looks at this girl who has a lot of these character, and he says, oh, her all of these identification marks seem to tell me that she is of good character. So Samudraka Sara Mudrana, to understand Niyamanam, that is to understand that Akritau eva gunaha vartante iti, the format of Niyamanam, the rule that is there in the Samudrika Shastram is Akritau Gunaha Vartante. Gunaha, qualities are present in an Akriti. The Akriti reveals the qualities. So what is the example that they give? The moment they give this statement, Yatra Akritihi Tatra Gunaha Vasanti. See, if you see, he gives a better format for this Akritau Gunaha. Akritau Gunaha na capsule formula editor, Naishadakara. The meaning for that is Yatra Akritihi Tatra Gunaha Vasanti. Iti Samudraka Shastrasya Saraha Rahasyam Tasya Mudrana Niyamana Or sangraha, if you take the taparyam, the crux of Samudraka Shastram, it means that wherever there is a good form, there should be good qualities also. Or wherever there are good qualities, there exists a good form too. So what does it have as an example? Sa mudrana tvad udaharana tvameva udaharanam drishtantaha tasya shastrasya iti. So that's how you decipher the shloka here. இல்லைன்னா அது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் அவரோடது. சனதுலா விஷயே தவ ஆக்ருதிஹி ந வச்சோ வர்த்மனி தே சுஷீலதா त्वद् उदाहरण आकृतौ गुणाः इति सामुद्रक सार मुद्रण और सामुद्रिक सार मुद्रण इति अत्र श्रुत्या प्रकृतगतम् अपि उपपादनम् अर्थात् अप्रकृते पर्यवस्यति इति अर्थान्तरन्यासस्य एव अयं प्रकारभेदः. सो प्रकृतगतम् अपि उपपादनम् अर्थात्, सो प्रकृताद् अप्रकृतम्. The context, from the context we can infer the non-contextual that akrito gunaha vartante. So yatra akritihi vartate tatra gunaha eva vartante iti athava rupam sheelanusari iti. So prakritam seems to justify the aprakritam. This is another type of arthantarnyasa. Yaduchyate parvati papa vrittaye narupamityabhyabhichari tadvachaha. So this is the non-context here. This non-context is being substantiated by the context of giving Parvati as the example. Tata hite sheela mudara darshane tapasvinam apyupadeshatam gatam. Next one is Pavitratva. For Himavan. Himavan has not got one sanctity because of Ganga flowing. It's because of your presence. He has to approach more closer and closer. So he is trying to figure out how to say endearing things to her. Vikirna saptarshi bali prabhasibihi tathana gangaihi salilaihi divaschutaihi yatha twadiyaihi charitair anavilaihi mahidharaf pavitaha esha sanvayaha. Mahidharaha, this Himalayas, Mahidhara, this Bhudhara, this mountain, which is Himavat Parvata, Sanvayaha Pavitaha. Along with his entire lineage, he has been sanctified, purified, Pavitaha, Pavitram Krita, Karitaha, right? So he has been made pure by what? Na tatha gangaihi salilaihi pavitaha yatha twadiyaihi charitaihi. He has not been made as pure by the Ganga's waters as he has been made pure by your charitam, by your history, your actions here. Because she was born here, she grew up, she played in the banks of the Ganga there and all that. Right? So, Vikirna Saptarshi Bali Prabhasibihi Divaschutaihi Gangaihi Salilaihi. The adjectives for Ganga, the waters of Ganga, Divaschutaihi. She has come from Swargam, Tripathaga, Kalu. So, Vishnupada Chita Ganga. She has the connection with Trimurti here. The first is in Trivikrama Avataram, in Vamana Avataram, when Bhagavan tries to measure the entire Brahmanda, he goes and hits the Avarana Jalam. So this Brahmandam is like an eggshell. There is another layer of water around this eggshell of 14 worlds. So he goes and makes a crack into the topmost beyond the Satyalokam there. And from there the Avarana Jalam comes to his leg. Brahma in Satyalokam, he says, okay, Vishnoho padaha atra vartate iti karanat tatra kamandaloho jalam stapayati tatra. So he also worships the feet of Trivikrama, and the kamandalu jalam is also there. The water has touched Vishnu's feet and then it falls on Jatajuta. So Shiva's touch is also there. All three Trimurti. So imagine the amount of sanctified nature that Ganga should have. Not only this, but the pure Avarana Jalam is also there in Ganga. Yet, he says it's only because of Shakti that Himat Parvata has been made pure. So Divaschutaihi, the waters which have oozed out or which have fallen from the Swarga, and Saptarishi Bali Prabhasibihi Vikirnaihi. So the waters, the Saptarishis have all thrown Bali Pushpam into the water. So Saptarishis have used Ganga and they have done Snanam inside Ganga. You've seen this there also. The Saptarishis come, they go beyond the Surya Mandalam and then they do in the Himavat Parvatam where the Saptarishis come down and perform puja in the Ganga. I think it's in the first Sarga itself. So Vikirna Saptarishi Bali Prabhasi Bihi. Prabhasa Nama Atra, it is shining, the waters are shining with the Bali Pushpam that have been Vikirna, that have been strewn by Saptarishis. Appo evlo pavanatvam irukkanam. So much of pavanatvam. Yet he says, Tatha Gangaihi Salilaihi na pavitaha. He was not sanctified so much by Ganga Salilam as he has been by Tvadiyaihi Anavilaihi Charitaihi. Your character and your charitam, the actions that you have performed are all anavilam. It can never have any malinatvam there. Avilam nama kalangardu. Kalangama irukkakoodiya oru charitamnu solradhu. Adu eppadi solradhu? It's not turbid. So waters can be turbid at some point. It can become polluted. So Ganga, the physical water can look dirty. It can be quite. In Varanasi, if you go and see, it's not the purest of waters that you see there. It is quite... sometimes if you just look at the physical water, you won't even want to go there and do snanam. But nowadays it's much better. I'm just saying. Whereas her charitam is, the Devi's charitam is always anavilam. There is nothing you can point out and say that, she need not have done this and all. Atha Devi Kritasya Tapasaha Kulashuddhi Paryantatvam Aha. So first, she herself was an idol for many people. Yes. But because she was born here, there is she has sanctified the entire kulam of Himat Parvata. So, Esha Mahidharaha Tvadiyaihi Charitaihi Yatha Sanvayaha Pavitaha Divaha Chutaihi Gangaihi Salilaihi Tatha Na. So, Eshaha iti Purovarthinam Mahidharam Sa Gauravam Sa Hasta Abhinayam Nirdishati, it seems. So, I love the way the Vyakhana interprets it and gives drama to this. No? He picturizes it in front of us. He says Purovartinam, the Himavat Parvata which is right in front of him where they are standing. It is in one of the groves there. Mahidharam, Sa Gauravam, with the great Gaurava. This also has an effect in what he is going to say later, that you have been born in such a kulam. And you want Shiva, whose kulam itself is not known. Adhikaga there is so much of background that he is building up here. Okay, so Sa Gauravam, Sa Hasta Abhinayam. By showing with Hastam, he is saying, Eshaha Mahidharaha. You have to show with reverence towards Himat Parvata. So Nirdishati, Mahidharaha Himavan, Tvadiyaihi Tvatsambandhibihi Charitaihi. Charitam Nama Acharaha. Your actions. Because of your actions, Sanvayaha, Pitra, Pitamaha, Matra, Matamaha, the Matamahadi, Vamsha Parampara Sahitaha, Sanna, Pavitaha, Shuddhim, Prapitaha. Both sides he has been sanctified right now. Divaha Swargat Chutaihi Patitaihi, Divyaihi. Anena pavanatva apadana samarthyat atishayaha uktaha. So, samarthya atishayaha. So, pavanatva apadana samarthya atishayaha uktaha. So, there is more pavanatvam in Ganga because she comes directly from Swarga itself. Can take even more. That's what I was saying. Tripathaga iti and Vishnupadachyuta Devi. You can take so much of things to as a pavanatvam for Ganga there. Gangaihi, Ganga Sambandhibihi Salilaihi, Tatha na Tadrisha Prakarena na Pavitaha Abhut. So Ganga, Gangeti, Yannama, Yojananam, Shateshwapi, Kirtitam Hanti Papani. Kirtitam Hanti Papani. So this is I think it must be in the shloka. Some Smriti or Purana shlokam, which says, Ganga, the full shlokam irkan pakre. No. Should be one more. Ganga, Gangeti, Yennama, Yojananam, Shateshwapi. Yojananam Shateshwapi. Drishta. I think something about Drishta would come there. I'm not sure. I'm not able to find this. It only gives me Kumarasambhava's half verse here. Doesn't give me the full verse. Maybe if I get it, I will try to forward it. So Ganga, Gangeti, Yen Nama, the name Ganga, Yojananam Shateshwapi. If beyond 100 yojanas, if you keep on saying the name of Ganga, it is capable of Namasmaranena eva tatra papani hanti iti. That's all. What to say of when you actually go and see and then take a snanam, take a dip in her, or even prokshanam, it definitely, naturally, there is no punarjanma. There is this belief that you don't have punarjanma at all. There is a book someone has written, it's a collection of all of the places where Ganga has been mentioned. Ganga Mahatmyamo Edo. He has done an extensive, it is like a research kind of a book, which I found sometime back in archive, where he starts off from the Itihasa, Purana, wherever it is mentioned, and then he also has a collection of all of the Ganga stotrams that different people have written. So it's a very beautiful collection of things there. Ityadishu smritishu kirtanamatrasyapi pavanattvena prasiddhayaha gangayaha jalasambandha janitam pavanatvam api himavataha. So if mere mention of the name can give so much of pavanatvam, then jalasambandha janitam, she actually literally flows in the Himalayas, flows through the Himalayas. So what to say of the amount of purification that happens to Himavan? Etadrisha achara vishishtatva vishishta tvat pitrabhava janitat pavanatvat atyanta parihinam iti bhavaha. There is so much of sanctity to Ganga, yet what is happening here is etadrisha achara vishishta tvat pitrabhava janitat. The fact that he has become your father has given him a pavanatvam. When considering that pavanatvam, the pavanatvam of Ganga, the pavanatvam that Himavan has received from Ganga is atyanta parihinam. Parihinam is, it is much, much lower than what it is. So Swataf Pavananam api Ganga Jalanam Pavanantara Sambandhat Pavanatva Adhikyam Aha. So there can be an extra Pavanatvam there for Ganga, which is it's like that shloka Nilakanta Dikshita says, Putam Swataf Putataram Tato Yat Gangam Paya Shankaramaudi Sangat. Tadpatum Ataf Pranaya Paradha. Adi no Nanargo. Putataram Tato Yat. Tato Naha alla. Putam Swataf Putataram Tato Yat Gangam Payas Shankaramaudi Sangat. Tatpatu Mataf Pranayaparadha Padahatam Putataram Tato Naha. Yeah, okay. So I forgot the last part. Swataf Pavananam Ganga Jalana. So it is automatically, naturally, it has a sanctity towards it. But there is another extra thing that is there, which is Vikirna Saptarshi Baliprabhasibihi. that adds to the sanctity of Ganga. Vikirnaihi vikshiptaihi saptarshinam balibihi. Bali shabdena atra tad upayuktani kusumadini lakshyante. The flowers are being indicated here that they use for bali. Danam, or when they do Surya Puja, they give flowers and water there. So, Pavanatva adhikya pratitischa phalam. Sadhya sadhana bhavaha sambandhaha. Okay, Bali Shabdena Atra Upayuktani Kusumadini Lakshyante. The Lakshyartha here is Kusumam. So when you want to go to so why do you go to okay, let's do this reverse. So Bali, 2 steps back. The Shabda, the word Bali indicates anything that is given in the form of a sacrifice. Mantra Purvakam Tatra Yad Diyate Tattu Bali Shabdena Uchyate. Okay, but here it is not directly referring to something, the annapindam that is given as bali, but it refers to the flowers as a lakshyartha. So for lakshyartha, you always have to have a prayojanam. When you say Gangayam Ghoshaha and not Ganga Tire Ghoshaha, that gives a pavanatvam as a phalam or a prayojanam for that ghosha, for the village or for the kudusha and the hut. So here also, because he uses the word bali and the lakshyartha is kusuma, actual what he intended meaning is only pushpam, then why should he use the word bali here? It is to indicate that pavanatva adhikyam. So that is the phalam here, to use the word bali instead of saying pushpa. Or kusuma, suma, he can say, vikirna saptarshi suma prabhasibihi. It will be very beautiful only. It will fit in the meter. There are so many words that you can use, but to use specifically the word bali, he wants to indicate that it is as pavitratvam that has been imparted to this Ganga. When you do bali, it is sanctified by the Vedas, no? Adhikaga. Parameshwara Archana Upayuktaihi Kusumadivihi Ityarthaha. So they are doing Archana to Parameshwara here, and those flowers have fallen into the Ganga. Taihi Prabhasitum Shobhitum Sheelam Esham Iti. So Salilanam Tatra Shobha Vartate, and it has the capacity to shine because of the flowers that have been given as Bali by Saptarishis. Charitanam pavanatva adhikye hetum aha anavilaihi iti. Asankirnaihi, that which is not mixed by durachara leshenapi rahita. Her character is such that which doesn't have even a bit of dushta acharam. There is no wicked act in Devi's actions here. Ganga jalanam tu kadachit avilatvam api sambhavyate iti vyatireka dhvanihi. So, Vyatireka Dhvani, the Anavila Padam, that adjective gives rise to the Dhvani, the suggestion that there is a basic difference between Ganga Jalam and Devi Charitam. That there is a possibility that Ganga Jala can be dirty at some point. It can be mixed with other elements, unwanted elements, but then that can never happen in Devi's Charitam. So this Vyatireka, this difference that you are showing is actually suggested. Yeah. Anavila Charita. Vikirna Saptarshi Bali Prabhasibihi Tathana Gangaihi Salilair Divaschutaihi Yatha Twadiyaihi Charitair Anavilaihi Mahidharav Pavitayesha Sanvayaha. So yeah. Anena Dharma Savishesham. We'll do this next class.